Hello, welcome. Today's video is one that I have been intending to make for a really long time, but I just keep forgetting about. And it's something that I think is important. And yeah, I'm excited to finally be making it. I hope that I can do it justice. I'm just going to assume that not everyone knows who I am. So if you're watching this video and you're new, welcome to the channel. I don't normally sound like this. I am very sick. I am dying. Please like this video and subscribe. But yeah, basically today's video is why you should play competitive Pokemon. What is competitive Pokemon in a very, very few words, and why should you play it and why should you care? Because basically most people are aware of Pokemon as a franchise. It's one of the most popular franchises in the entire world. However, and I've mentioned this in other videos, not that many people know about the competitive scene, and so it's kind of this weird dichotomy where Pokemon is so well known, but the competitive scene is really not known at all. So, yeah, basically, who am I? My name is Wolfey. I am the 2016 Pokemon World Champion. I am the 3-time U.S. National Champion, or, you know, there's a technicality there, but whatever. I'm the 6-time Regional Champion, or a 6-time Regional Champion, whatever. Long story short, I've been playing this game for a long time. I've been playing this game since 2011. When I was 14, 15 years old, and a freshman in high school. So this is going to be my 10th season of playing this game competitively in official tournaments. So I technically played even longer competitively. So yeah, so basically I've been around for a while, and I just kind of want to talk about why I've stuck around for so long and why I think it's really surprising, knowing the game as well as I do, that it doesn't have more people playing it. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go into my whole backstory because I don't think anyone's that interested in it, but basically, I was a freshman in high school. I'd always played Pokemon for fun, casually. I'd never really played... I played a little bit competitively, like... Competitively is not even the right word. Like, I discovered that there were forums online, and I would play online against people sometimes in single battles, which is the traditional, most well-known format of the game, the way the story takes place. Discovered there were online forums, was perusing these forums looking for battles. I would challenge people to Wi-Fi battles, etc. I was like 13 at the time. Found that there was going to be a tournament near my hometown in DC. So I trained for that. I learned the new format. It was VGC, which is the official format. I went to this tournament. It was a regional. There was like 400 people there, I think. I don't remember. A lot of people there. It was 8 or 9 rounds, single elimination, best of 1. And I won the tournament, which let them fly me to nationals, and then I won nationals, so they flew me to worlds. And then I got 6th at Worlds. And then the next year I got 2nd at Regionals, 1st at Nationals, and then 2nd at Worlds, which got me an invite to 2013 Worlds. So that's kind of my story, very briefly, and how I started out. I wouldn't have, if I hadn't won those early tournaments, I would, like, my parents have always been super supportive, but it probably didn't make sense to fly me to California, you know? So, or even Indianapolis for something that we had no idea how it was going to turn out. So, yeah, so I basically got into the game by winning trips. That was the prize back then. It wasn't money. It was just trips for the next tournament. Yeah. So that's my story, and I've been playing ever since. So I want to talk a little bit about the game, and yeah, just kind of the game itself. It's kind of funny because when most people think of Pokemon and just playing through Pokemon, it doesn't seem very complicated, right? You get your starter Pokemon or whatever other Pokemon you want. You over-level it, right? You can always grind. If you get knocked out or if you have trouble, you can just grind to level your Pokemon up. You normally have 4 attacks. Oftentimes it'll be like many of the same attack, etc., right? And then you just blow through people, right? You have items that you can use, like potions and that stuff, revives if your Pokemon get knocked out. You want to stock up on revives before you beat the Elite Four, right? That kind of thing. So, what is, like, how does that differ than the competitive game? Competitive Pokemon is almost unrecognizable to the main game, apart from the characters. So, or the Pokemon, I guess I should say. So basically, it's a super complex game. There's a lot of, I always describe it as a mix of chess and poker. It's a lot of strategy, but there's also probability management, and there's also information management. So, a lot of it depends on being able to quickly, like, identify important information and look for trends in how your opponent is playing. And basically, the fundamental problem that you're trying to solve with Pokemon is, given an infinite set, like there's practically an infinite number of Pokemon combinations with different EVs, with different IVs, with different moves, right, with different items. There's, like, it's functionally infinite. How do you pick 6 Pokemon and then beat everything that you expect to play from that infinite set. And then on top of that, how do you actually play the game? So Pokemon's really cool because it's split into two parts. There's the preparation phase, which is the team building, deciding what you want to use, which is very complicated, and then the playing itself. So, yeah, basically, it's a really complicated game. There's math involved. There's a lot of background information you need to know. There's a complicated, not that complicated. There's a somewhat complicated type chart. There's going to be 1,000 different Pokemon in Sword and Shield. Obviously, not all of them are legal and all of them are relevant, but you get the picture. It's pretty complicated. However, the game is really, really cool because it's a game where if you want to consistently beat somebody, but you have to be significantly above how good they are. Because there's a lot of luck involved, and there's a lot of, like, I wouldn't say luck, but I would say there's a lot of random elements of the game, and there's also a lot, like, information and the surprise factor play a big role as well. So it's very, very challenging to do consistently well. And it's even the top players year to year, myself included, like, players will have up years and they will also have down years. So yeah, like, basically it's challenging is the short version. However, it's super rewarding because it teaches you a lot of really important skills, like dealing with uncertainty, dealing with probabilities, like being able to think on the fly, reading other people, like summarizing and guessing at information based on how another person is acting. These are all super, super important skills that are really kind of interesting to think about, even outside of a gaming context, right? Yeah. So I think I may have talked a little bit about the game more than I wanted, but that's okay. It's a really cool game. I could literally spend an hour talking about it and still probably just scratch the surface. But yeah, so basically the game is really cool. It's really challenging and really rewarding when you get better. But getting better is not always a linear process, and it's pretty complicated. But it's a very rewarding process. Yeah. So the game is dope. One of the big pulls at the moment for Pokemon that people are enjoying about the current format is that it gives you the opportunity to travel around the world. There's currently 4 international tournaments. There's one in Brazil, one in Australia, one in Europe, sometimes London, sometimes Germany, and then one in the US, normally Columbus, Ohio, or Indianapolis, Indiana. Basically, the way that it works is one of the big prizes. So you can win money for competing. I think I won over $10,000 last year. But I won nationals. I got top 4 at a national. I got top 4 at a regional. I think I had about $10,000 from Pokemon last year, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so there's it's not enough probably that you can make a living off of it, but it's nice as a hobby, right? It's nice as a hobby. It's nice, just supplemental income. Or if you're not working, then it's nice. I don't know, just to have. Put it towards college or whatever, but yeah, basically. But on top of that, Pokemon will also pay you to travel around the world. So I'm not going, but in a couple weeks, in 1 week actually, there's an international tournament in Brazil, like I mentioned, and if I went, they would pay me, I would have to pay for travel, but then they would reimburse me $3,500, which is pretty good, which is very good, right? Because I would definitely make a profit then going. So yeah, but on top of just being paid to travel, there's also I've gotten to go to so many cool places around the world, just because of this game. I've been to Hawaii, I've been to California 3 times because of this, Vancouver. Like I said, I've been to Australia once for this, and second, kind of for that, or kind of for Pokemon. I stayed with friends when I was there. I've been to Berlin. I've been to London 2 or 3 times. So that you can travel around the world, and it's really neat. The other nice thing, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Basically, another good thing about Pokemon is that I follow Melee, Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. I think it's a really cool game. I love watching it. I don't watch many other video games, but I do watch Melee. But my impression of the game is that if a player were to not play for 3 to 6 months, they would probably get somewhat worse, because in a game like Melee and in many other competitive video games, there's a lot of technical skill as in your hands, right? You need to be able to push buttons in a way that is proper and fast, and you need to have really good reaction time. It's really cool to watch. If you don't follow it, I would definitely recommend looking into it. But my point here is that Pokemon is a game where it's all mental skill, which is good and bad, but I personally like it because basically what that means is that if I don't play for months, I haven't played seriously since August, and I just got top 4 at a regional this weekend, last weekend, wow. So I haven't really, my skills haven't gotten really much worse at all, and that's really nice because it means that Pokemon's not a game that you have to be playing all the time to stay relevant and to stay good. You can take breaks, right? You can take months off. That was something I really appreciated in college, where I worked as an RA, I was in an a cappella group, I was pretty busy overall. Like I had classes and like it wasn't easy for me to get to events because I lived near like a small regional airport that was always had flights canceled. So I didn't want to play that much in college. And it was nice because I didn't have to, right? If I was doing other things, like I could not play for a while. And I wouldn't get any worse, and I could pick it back up like almost instantly. Once you have that foundational knowledge, right, then it's very easy to get back into it. So I think that's a big advantage of playing Pokemon as a competitive game over other games, is that like you can do it in chunks, right? Because it's just like, so I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't know how to ride a bike. I had an experience when I was a child where I fell. It's a long story. I don't want to get into it. But I don't know how to ride a bike. But I imagine that as people say, it's like riding a bike you never forget. I imagine Pokemon is the same way. However, for me, I don't know how to ride a bike, and similarly, I don't know how to play Pokemon. So, do with that what you will. The last thing and the biggest thing is that the Pokemon community and I'm going to say, like, Pokemon in a game like this gives you a very unique opportunity to connect with people from all around the world and across cultures and across languages even. At the moment, like, I'm not feeling very connected to the VGC community. I honestly don't really consider myself a part of the general VGC community anymore. However, the friends that I've made through this game and the experiences that I've had, and the people I've gotten to meet, there are some like incredible people from like who play this game and who I've honestly, it's been an honor to have in my life, and I'm very grateful for them. And the cool thing is that there are people even across like, so for example, this is a long story. I'm going to condense it really quickly. Sejun Park, 2014 World Champion. Sejun and I met in 2012 when we played during Swiss of the World Championships, and then again in Top Cut. And through what was a very intense, very high stakes set for both of us. We both wanted to be world champion, and one of us was going to knock the other one out. Sejun's English wasn't very good at that point. He's really good now. But back then, his English wasn't that good. My Korean is terrible. I don't speak any Korean. And so we really couldn't communicate that well. But after that set, I felt like we had like we'd formed like some kind of a bond, because there's something about going through a really high stakes like situation with another person, even if you can't communicate with each other with words, right? Like Sejun and I were put in a situation where we both had this dream, we both had this goal, and one of us had to make sure that the other one didn't accomplish it. And yeah, like I always felt like I had a special like connection with Sejun because of like that set, or both of those sets. Like, yeah, and there's been other players as well who I feel like I have become friends with through playing this game. And yeah, it's just like, it's a great opportunity to meet people around the world. There's some really, really incredible people who play this game. And yeah, so I recognize this is a little disorganized. And this is just like one segment of competitive Pokemon, to be fair. This is just the official competitive format, which is called VGC. But there's a lot more to it. There's like singles, there's a bunch of other stuff, there's draft leagues, there's a ton of other formats, and this game there's a reason why the people who do play are so diehard about it, right? Like the people who know about this game and who play it competitively, like a lot of us really love it, and there's a reason for that. And of course it's frustrating at times, as most games probably are, but yeah, overall it's been one of the biggest things in my life, and has really, really changed. It's changed the course of my entire life, so I'm very grateful to it in a positive way. So, yeah. I hope this made some sense. I know I was just kind of rambling, but I also know I'm super congested. I'm literally dying. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something. Let me know down below what you think about this, and if you've had similar experiences to mine. I know my situation is kind of unique because, like, obviously I've been competing for a while, but I know that it's not just through competition that people connect with like others in this game and have positive experiences with this game. So I think that's all I want to say. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Check back tomorrow for more Sword and Shield / general Pokemon content. And yeah, we're getting close to release day. I'm very excited. Okay, see you next time. Peace.